Hello and welcome back to Minagoroshi. Still on chapter 3. This is a rare double chapter braid chapter, so I'm wondering, I mean, this might be a shorter episode, but it also could be long. You never know. Um, but yeah, what's up? Um, I just had my first chocolate pizza today. I've heard of it before. I think I've seen a video on it or something, but I had a frozen one, Dr. Oketter's Restaurante brand. I don't know how big that brand is. It's definitely Canadian wide. Well, maybe it's at least Ontario wide. I don't know if it's past that though. It was pretty good. I don't know what I expected. It was literally chocolate flakes with chocolate chips and white chocolate. It's chocolate pizza. It's probably as good as it sounds, and it was pretty good. I kind of got tired of it a bit, but the dough was the dough was something special because it was darker than normal dough, but it just tasted like dough to me. So, but yeah, good experience. That's what you like to see. New foods, even from the comfort at home. Um, Fun fact. I was looking through the channel, and I never noticed this, but we have plus 400 videos on the channel. That is a massive amount, and I just never noticed. I don't think I've ever seen my full video count. It's kind of hard to believe that, to be honest, but I guess it made sense, right? Because when I started the channel, I think I did 5 videos a day. Actually, the very start, I only did 3 a week, at every other day. Then we switched to 5 once we got 2 series going, and now we've been doing 7 for a while. So yes, it's a lot of videos, but also it's only there's 0 editing, so it's literally just around an hour a day of my time, and I'm sure everyone almost has an hour of time to spend, so it's not bad. It's just it's a big number. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That just surprised me. Nothing else I really want to say. Keep the comments going. I enjoy reading anything. But no, there's been some interesting ones. The I just say for the disease thing, the option of neither of the two things that was stated in Sumi Horoboshi could be a thing. Like the rational explanation by the doctor and Rena's explanation. It could probably be a mixture of the two. I was just kind of going with the rational one because I liked it a lot, but we should maybe not fully believe that. So, but yeah, what happened last episode? That's a good question. What did happen? Oh yeah, that's when everyone started to remember. Oh yeah. I did comment on that, on the reason why people get their memories back, and I just think it's a very hard thing to speculate on, just because it's definitely not. Sorry about that. My door is creaking from the air pressure, I think. But I think that's just hard to do because it's just a lot of assumptions on how the world works. I said I can't. What I think is happening is I think it's just an inevitability, right? Because everyone is starting to gain their memories, and nothing really happened, right? We just started it with Shion already taking care of Satoko and Rena solving the issue on her. Well, not on her own, but taking the initiative. So I think it was bound to happen, as the events just keep on repeating and repeating. It was bound to happen eventually. Now something dramatic might actually spark the full memory gain again, but from what I'm seeing, it's already weird that they already know what's happening, right? So I think it's an accumulation, and technically if Rita had an unlimited amount of time with her mental life, she can just keep going out and out, and I think they would all eventually maybe not be at Rita's level of going through the universe, but be like aware of what's happening. I think anyways. And I think that really ties into my idea that instead of this like natural multiverse thing, it's actually some weird distortion created by Hanyu's like time travel. Like it's making all these weird timelines. Like she disrupted the flow of the universe or whatever, and now there's all these split stuff with different possibilities like manifested. But again, that's all speculation. I don't even know if we would get more information on how this outer universe works. I mean, maybe, since we did have that like intro scene, could be like part of the epilogue or whatever. Part 8 will maybe. So let's just let's continue. This is nighttime and we're back in Rita POV, I assume. Satoko's snoring sounded so subtle while I stood by the window.
Satoko?
That's what we call a rare Satoko snore. Who would have thought of that? Can we get that on replay? That's super rare. I wouldn't call that cute, but it's... If you're a Satoko fan, you put that in the notebook. Refer to, what episode is this? 6, I think. Refer to Aiden's episode 6 of Minagoroshi if you want that snore. I could tell that she was sound asleep. Is it? I just, maybe it's just me. I don't think snores can ever sound cute. Hanya laughs and tries to poke Satoko's nose. I'm sure she looks cute while snoring. I turned up at the sky. Nothing was different about the moon, but the moonlight seemed warmer than usual to me. She better be. Literally everyone's remembering, except for Satoko, technically. So technically not. Satoko and Mian haven't shown any signs of remembering, but you know the actual culprits, Rena, Shion, and Keiichi are. I realized it only after Hanyu pointed it out. I really was in a very good mood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be enjoying the view of the sky on a humid night like this. I felt like bringing a toast to the moon. As I rooted around the back of the closet, Hanyu spoke to me sounding noticeably upset. We did get the hint that Hanyu doesn't like us drinking. Sorry, Hanyu, we're an early drinker. Hanyu doesn't like alcohol. Oh, Hanyu tastes it. That's probably why she doesn't like it, huh? If I drink, Hanyu will also taste it, so she always complains when I try to drink. That's why I usually drink when Hanyu is far away from me. Of course, she'll know right away when I do, but it's too late by then. But think about it, Rita. If this is the universe you survive, then the alcohol can have some bad effects on your long-term growth. Jesus, this is cute. I appreciate the cute power, Hanyu, but Rita is immune, as she has already mastered it. Orange juice and wine! Well, probably using orange juice as a chase. I doubt she's actually mixing it. Is that a thing? Sounds gross. Orange juice and whiskey. Is that what they drink? I don't know. I remember drinking whatever the famous orange juice plus whatever was in like the resort in Mexico. Those were some good times. It would, if you like saw me, you'd think I'm an alcoholic, but in the resort, I swear to God, they literally had like zero alcohol. Like they just, I don't know what they did. They took away all the alcohol in the alcohol because I was drinking like 3 martinis a day, like a bunch of orange juice stuff, some mojitos. Like I was drinking like up to 10 drinks a day, and it literally zero buzz at all. So I just, because they don't want any problems with any of the guests. But yeah, it was weird. It was basically alcoholless. No alcohol. And you know, you tried the alcohol, the non-alcoholic beer, but like non-alcoholic hard drinks is, sounds weird, but it was kind of fun as a kid. Well, not a kid, because obviously I was illegal, but like as a 19-year-old or something. Literally all you drink is alcohol because you never get drunk. What? The smell is actually, I don't know. It depends. It can be pretty bad. Who slammed? Oh, she slammed. She's jumping. Hanya jumped around and complained. She was making a lot of noise where Satoko was sleeping. Where Shion and Tomotaki could hear you and Mayatashi Watanadashi. Explain for me? Question mark. Atambe. Hanya's being a little cuter than usual, than her usual cute level. I like it. Jesus. Well, not Jesus. I mean, I guess Hanyu and Jesus are probably pals in the God verse. I went to the refrigerator and took out a pack of orange juice and spicy kimchi I typically use for punishment. Uh-oh. Does that sound like a good time? Oops. Kimchi is weird to me. I don't mind it, but I don't really want to like ever just eat it by itself. Like obviously there's places where you get it as a side dish and I will eat it. It's alright, but I much prefer it like mixed into something. Like I like kimchi like flavored soup or noodles. Like one of my favorite instant ramen here is a kimchi flavored one, which is really good. I think I like I know, super Canadian, but I had a kimchi poutine once that was pretty good. But yeah, it's an alright thing for me. I know people who eat kimchi religiously. I know people who make their own kimchi and have the someone I know has like a kimchi fridge, like a fridge dedicated just for making kimchi or something like that. So it's a popular dish. I'm kind of medium on it though. Stick to your morals, Hanyu. Take the kimchi punishment. Hanyu clenched her lips while jumping up and down, ready to burst into tears. She should be disciplined for being that noisy, but she never has been since the only one who can hear her. I'm the only one who can hear her. Besides, she's like air, so I can't even give her a spanking. Hanyu loves sweets, but she really hates spicy food. Satoto noticed. What are you doing, Hanyu? Satoto woke up suddenly and I had to hide my glass in a hurry. Satoto doesn't know about my drinking habit. Right back to sleep. I used to sleep talk. Or, that's not really sleep talking. I never did. I mean, I probably have, but as a kid. Nighttime nuisance. Want to explain that? Yeah, we're getting some explanation. Just like I'm the only one who can see her, I'm usually the only person who can hear the noise she makes. However, that's not the case all the time. Hanyu does exist in this world. Sometimes people can actually hear and feel her existence. It doesn't happen too often, and most people think that they just heard some random noise. Based on my experience, people who are in critical condition, like Satoto, tend to hear her more often with the whatever disease she is on. When I say critical condition, I mean who've reached the L4 stage as Irie would describe it. Well, here's an interesting thought about this disease. The fact that I don't know if it actually is connected to like Keiichi and Retina's and Shion's paranoia. I mean, at least it didn't sound like it does. Or else they would be like being monitored too, right? Or something. I don't know, actually. Never mind. Just a thought. At that stage, there's nothing that can be done anymore. Because if that was the answer, then why wouldn't Rita like be looking more into that, right? It seems kind of dissociated with the murders, or at least in Rita's mind from what we can see. They'll feel the existence and hear the noise of someone they can't see. That would really mess with their mind. Hanyu stopped jumping up and down and gave up as I started pouring alcohol into my glass. I wasn't drinking because I wanted to be mean to Hanyu. In fact, I always wish you would enjoy it too. I poured only a little bit of wine inside a glass and diluted it with plenty of orange juice. I guess she does mix it, but if it's just a little bit, it can't be that bad, I guess. In fact, this cocktail is pretty much just juice. I also put some crushed ice inside the glass. With that, it looked like a real cocktail they serve at the bar. I lit the edge of the glass to see how she'd react. Oh. She's chilling. Hanyu has been scared of that kimchi punishment for a while. As I put it back inside the refrigerator, she seemed relieved. Whoa. CG. I did say the Mian was our first CG, but I actually didn't realize we had a Hanyu CG in episode 2, as shown in the thumbnail. But I'll be honest, since I didn't actually choose that. It was YouTube generated, so you gotta appreciate when YouTube hits you with the good thumbnails. But look at this. This is a nice thumbnail. Hanyu being a little see-through. They have around the same length of hair too, huh? Made sense if like Rita is a reincarnation or whatever. Or the Furudes are like very closely related to Oyashiro. Chama. I took the glass and headed back to the window. There was no breeze, but it seemed a little bit cooler. I do. Did she not notice it? All three. Looking good.
過去の世界をごくわずかだけど記憶してる。そしてそれを生かして致命的な失敗を避けている。ここにはそう珍しいことではないと思いますです。でも ケイイチやレナ、シオンなどみんながみんな同時にそうなることは僕もとても珍しいことだと思いますのです。私はよく自分の運命をすごろくに例えるんだけど、これは3つ振ったサイコロがみんな6だったような、そういう幸運じゃないかと思うの。僕たちの望む未来に最も近い位置からのスタートという意味では、理科のその例えは正しいと思いますのです。でもこれは理科が期待するような意味の奇跡ではありませんですよ。
I mean, it's looking pretty good. I knew what she was trying to say. Obviously, it's not a sure win, and who knows, she might be Brit next world. She was telling me not to expect too much. The die is designed to have 6 sides. It's not a miracle if I roll and get a 6. A true miracle is when I roll it once but get a 10, just like what happened with Keiichi in my previous life. In other words, a miracle is something that would normally never happen. Keiichi gave the doll to Mion. Rena spoke with her father, and Shion started taking care of Satoko after remembering her promise to Satoshi. That was all because they had those intentions somewhere in their hearts. It was only a side of their die was engraved there already. But still, even if you couldn't call 3 dice rolling this well a miracle, it did mean good fortune.
Rika が頑張ろうという強い意志を見せたので、天の神様が祝福しているのに違いないのです。
Options? Do you want a thinking Rika thumbnail or do you want a smiling Rika thumbnail? It's a hard choice. I kind of like the thinking Rika one. It's a little more artsy, you know? You know, if there was a photographer here, he would probably be like, oh, look into the sky thinking or something. But this one's nice too.
あんたも神様じゃなかったの？リカは僕をいじめるときだけ神様扱いしますです。冗談よ。お願いだからいじけないで。そんなわけだから今夜はとても機嫌がいいのよ。
I lifted up the glass of orange wine and gave a toast to the moon. It tasted like nothing but sweet orange juice. It was funny to see Hanyu making a happy face as I took a sip.
今度こそ昭和58年の死の運命から逃れられるのでしょうか。
Gotta thread the needle.
逃れることが
Eyes on the prize.
これほど幸先のいいスタートはもう二度とないかもしれない。
No matter how hard I tried to prevent things from happening, there are some things I could never control. It's such a letdown, a huge letdown when that happens. Even after trying so hard, something renders my efforts infertile. I'd probably been wasting my time for so long because I was trying to escape from that pain. For the first time in my life, then, I've been blessed with a favorable situation. Everything seems perfect in this world. There's no reason for me to be depressed. It's like the weather is perfect and the wind is blowing in just the right way. If I fail to put my ship out to sea, there's nothing to pin the blame on. I understand what Hanyu was trying to say with the concerned look on her face. If I didn't escape my death under this fortunate situation, I'd have to accept that my fate wasn't something that could be changed. This is an ideal world where all my friends overcame their problems. I was always in a depressing world, but this time all the pieces of the puzzle matched. If I couldn't change my fate in this world, then it was proof that I couldn't change it in any world. That was the ending I've been afraid of for a long time. The loss of hope and the death of my soul. Of the pair of us, I was probably the one who would die. Hanyu will most likely remain there even if my spirit disappears. She must be afraid of being alone after I lose myself. That's why she's telling me not to expect too much. I bit down on the ice chip inside my mouth. It was pleasantly told.
羽生、何度も繰り返した話で申し訳ないんだけど、いいのですよ。
Oops, my bad.
どうしてリカが必ず昭和58年に殺されるかですね。うん、強い意志は強い運命を生み出すということは、私が昭和58年に必ず殺されるのは、おそらくそうだと思いますです。
Oops, again.
フルでリカを殺して誰がどんな
It's a hard question. Again, it's just the usual suspects. Honestly, Tatano being part of Irie's experiments makes me want to think Oishi a bit more, but I don't know.
強い意志があるのですから、おそらくは明白な動機があるものと思いますです。
And how does that connect with the gas attack? I don't know.
自分で言うのも嫌だけど、
Could be like an ill omen, like maybe they needed the show to show off Rita's corpse, at least for the future. Like maybe the townspeople who died doesn't know it, but like the future people who looks at the crime and is like, alright, this supposedly reborn goddess gets murdered in this traditional sense, and then a gas attack, then the whole gas disaster happens. Is that a coincidence? Maybe not. And then you're like, well, it could I mean, it could be Oishi because that totally kills the Sonozakis, but like, what's the point of the show? Which is interesting. It kind of like, what did I say in my theory video? It was like the fresh theory for Takano. Like maybe, I don't know, it's hard to discuss motives because we don't really have much, I feel like, much solid evidence besides Oishi dislikes the Sonozakis and Takano likes occult stuff. So I think I was saying like maybe it's like to create a cult, like maybe Takano wants people to get interested in the Hinamizawa mythos, so like she plans all this stuff and like kind of cements it as a huge thing, and then a bunch of occult fans start getting into it post-mortem. And that kind of happens. I don't know. That's something. But I guess either theory is kind of a weak theory, right? Nothing too strong that I would be confident of writing it down and sealing it in an envelope and sending it to the future. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't think it's Irie now that we actually know he's doing an experiment, and that probably explains any sus moments I've really had of him. And again, the way they're talking about these murders, it definitely makes it sound like the murders / the paranoia stuff does not have to do with whatever disease Satoko has, I think.
少なくともこの村に住まう人間である以上、理科に好意を抱かない人間はいないはずなのです。あんたのおかげでね。
And this random thought came to my head. You don't have to tell me if it's a spoiler, but I just remember someone commented when I was talking about my blue-eyed theory for Shion and / Mion. Someone was like, it's more like blue-eyed Keiichi, ha ha ha, I guess you'll know in the future. And like, I was like, okay, cool. But then we just like never knew in the future what that meant. If I'm supposed to know what the heck that means, then feel free to tell me. If that's actually something I'm supposed to learn later in this circle, then that's like, don't tell me, do not tell me, okay? I don't know why, I was just thinking of possibility stuff, and that comment popped into my head. I'm like, okay. But it never really got answered, you know? I might have just missed it too. Oh, we knew that for a while. Tatano Oishi, if it's not, then we're Brit.
リカにとっては世界中のどこよりもこの村にいるのが安全なはずなのです。そうね、世界中のどこよりも私を殺そうとする人間がいるどころか、私を守ろうという人間がいるはずなの。
Keep skipping Rita. It's not on purpose, I swear. It's ironic. For a long time, I've been refusing help from all these people who are trying to keep me safe.
リカ、やはり入江たちを頼るのはどうですか？
People in this village love and cherish me. But no matter what, they never save me when I try to escape the fate of my death. I spoke to several villagers in the past, but they never believed me, and none of them saved me in the end. Did you talk to your friends? Why are you talking to random villagers? They probably didn't believe me because I had no idea who was trying to kill me or what their motive was. If I could explain that, people might be more accepting of my story. But there's nothing I can do about that. No one would believe a little girl saying that she's going to be killed without rhyme or reason. Come on, Rika. Literally your friends. We literally just had an arc about that. If you remember that arc, you should definitely ask your friends. All they think of me as is... Why is it so weird? All they think of me as is the reincarnation of Oyasho-sama and the leader of the Furude family. They do cherish me, but they won't protect me with their lives. On the other hand, Irie and his people are totally different. They realize how special I am, and they will try to make sure that nothing happens to me. Wonder what that means. Surely they don't know that she's instant hopping, or whatever, traveling through dimensions, because this is probably what... No, because there's no way, right? I don't know. If I confessed to them what my life was in danger, I'm pretty sure they'd do their best to prevent it. They have all the means to protect me from a violent end. However, none of it really worked in the past. It's not that they're unreliable. It's because Takano, the one responsible for protecting me, also gets killed on the same day every time. Huh? Is Takano the Rika bodyguard? In other words, asking her for help is completely useless. She's very reliable, but she also isn't. It's ironic that I'm the only one who knows the reason why they can never save me. So Takano actually... No, I think in the past when they asked for protection, they like put Takano on the job and she always dies. Yeah, but we know Takano fates her death, right? There's no way she doesn't fate her death. It doesn't make sense without her fating her death. But that's not a fact, right? It's not like a solid fact that's been confirmed that she fates her death in every arc. Because if she fates her death, then we just have to assume that she's the culprit, right? Or am I wrong, right? Like, what other reason she would have to fate her death besides, like, maybe faking her death so the murderer thinks she faked her death or whatever? Or the murderer thinks she died for whatever reason, and when the murderer attacks Rika, she stops it or whatever? But, like... And you're like, Aiden, why does she have to fake her death? Because Kichi sees her in Watanadashi, in Sumi Horoboshi, I mean not Sumi Horoboshi, in Totorodoroshi, and in Anotatashi, technically she should be dead. She's in every arc when you see her in the Watanadashi, she's already dead. She literally appears every arc post death. It has to be her faking it, unless it's a freaking disguised person. Who, Chia's disguising? I don't know. The only thing that might be different is one of my OG theories. I don't know if you guys remember this. is that the Tatano we're seeing is actually not the real Tatano, because if you remember in Anotatashi, the first time we meet Tatano, she does not have a sprite. She gets a sprite later in Anotatashi when you meet her in Watanashi, but I believe it's a time when Mion, Rena, and Keiichi are like going around the town, and a bunch of people are like saying hi to Keiichi or Mion or whatever, and it's like an old person, and then it's Tatano, who has no sprite. So I was thinking maybe that's the real Tatano, and then that Tatano gets killed and gets replaced by someone else, and just like cosplays as Tatano. It seems weird, but like that's something at least. I don't know. I do think that's kind of sus. And you're like, Aiden, that maybe they just didn't make their sprite. It doesn't make sense. It's the same arc. What do you mean? What do you mean they didn't make her sprite? It's literally there a couple chapters later. Anyways, enough Tatano talk, but... It just does not make sense. She has to fake it, or something's happening to Tatano. And if we are gonna look at it through the lens of it doesn't have to be the person committing all the murders before, then I think Tatano's way more likely than Oishi. If we're talking about every other murder before that, like a serial murder, then I think Oishi's more likely than Tatano. But just for this one, Tatano's definitely more likely than Oishi. For at least Rita's death, I mean. Who knows, Oishi could have killed Tomotaki. I don't know. Who cares? But yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Glad she's thinking about this though. Protect Tomotaki, dude. Save him. Happy. Oh, hit me with it. What arc? The death of Tatano and Tomotaki means the loss of my protection. Because if the two of them die, the suspect is able to kill me. That's why I've tried to prevent their deaths somehow. But they never believed me. I tried to do so hard to persuade them, but they didn't listen. I eventually gave up and just thought of their deaths as fated to happen. No info, huh? It's the same hopeless feeling I used to have towards my parents when I was able to go farther back in time. When I found out that death was inevitable, I lost interest in them. After all that time had passed, I forgot how hard I used to try to prevent my parents' deaths. Bro, experiments. Can I get some tech on that? I support them so I can help Satoko, but it distresses me to think that they're only using me as a test subject. I've been resenting Irie for that reason. I know we're gonna get that eventually. Still, I should try to get closer to him. After all, he's the only person who understands how important I am. He's the main person I should be talking to, and he has the most potential for protecting me. I can't avoid seeking help from him just because I don't like him. I've asked for help several times before, but Tomotaki and Tatano get murdered even so, and it ruins everything. After their deaths, Irie panics and becomes useless. It's probably to Higurashi, right? Or even, what was it? I mean, I guess Sumi Horoboshi. Kind of? I don't know. That's why I gave up on seeking help from him. But in this world, I've been blessed with a positive situation. I will never have a start as this again. This is the best chance I'll ever get, so I should give it my best shot. I really don't like him at all. But he's not a bad person. I should respect him more. He's serious about helping Satoko, and he's not as much of a mad scientist as I'm inclined to think. Tatano is a strange person too, but she is also someone who can give me support. But she thinks I'm only her guinea pig. That's why I don't really want her help. Bro, that's not a buff, is it? I can't tell. I don't think it's as buff as Sumihoroboshi's. Tomotachi. Yo, I just thought of something. What if the Tomotachi? Oh no, because it's a fake name. What if it's like just a different person, and that's why the one was buffer, because it was this Tomotachi Jiro is just like a fake person for like the person in charge of like scouting around Hinamizawa. So they just send a different person pretending to be, I don't know. It's weird, but it's an explanation. Because he's a fake name. What if it's like different people that just look like him, and one time someone was a little more buff than he was supposed to be? Visual hints. Easy. But the biggest problem is that he only visits the village a few times a year. On top of that, he always dies before I get killed, so he can never help me. However, they really are the people I should be talking to. If I can change the fate of their deaths, they should be able to save me from my own. It's possible that the only reason I live until 1983 was because of their effort. That should be fun.
大丈夫よ。どうせ殺されると思ってるから変に期待してない。だから期待を裏切られても全然平気よ。リカがひどいことを言ってますのです。
Oh, they sound so happy about that. I chuckled at her comments.
もし死の運命から逃れられれば、私の運命に対して
Yeah, that's
大きな影響を与えてくれる。
Imagine if like Tomotachi or Takano doesn't fake her death or whatever the hell happens to her. That would be the biggest swing.
そして今回はそれでも二人が殺されるのを前提に話をしてみようと思うの。つまり二人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう。
I'm just like brainstorming so hard right now. I really do think now that we switched lenses a bit, because I was hyper focusing. Honestly, I was hyper focusing at the mastermind has to be like the serial murderer. But like, if you think Oishi did it from the first murder to the fourth, or like at least a couple of them, like at least he doesn't need to do the first. It can be second to fourth or first to fourth, whatever it is. And Takano does the fifth. It fits pretty well. I mean, I said that I think in my theory video, but it feels kind of good. Now we just need to actually get evidence for this assumptions. There's no way it's anyone else. I am so certain about that. It's just impossible. There's just no other it's just actually impossible. The only other person can be is Ire or Chia. I'm not even joking. If it's any other sprited character, then they're gonna need a lot of explaining. That's all I have to say. If it's Chia, at least like it'll be literally insane, but eventually I'll accept it. If it's someone other than Chia and Ire and the two, then I don't know, I would lose my mind. The protection they provide is probably the highest standard of security I could hope for. Yet I lose that the moment Tomotachi and Takano die. So I never have their protection after Watanashi. And therefore I get killed too. In other words, that's it. Whoever possesses the strong will to kill me actually just wants me dead. Yet as so long as those two are alive, there's tight security all around Hinamizawa. That prevents the killer from getting to me. So to kill me, they must first kill Tomotachi and Takano, the heart of that security. Then my protection falls away, leaving me exposed.
リズムで考えれば考えるほど二人の運命と私の運命はつながっているのね。そうやって考えると、あの二人を見殺しにした時点で私の運命は逃れられないものに決まってしまうのかもしれない。なら 理科のすべきことはもう明らかなのです。そうね。自分の命より先にあの二人の命を救う方が先決ってことね。
It's kind of ironic. I gave up on them because I was more determined to save my own life. But I finally come to the conclusion that I have to help them first before helping myself. But there's something I still don't understand. Someone with convictions this strong is trying to kill me for some equally strong motive. Yet no matter how often I debate it, I can't think of anyone who'd benefit from my death. Not only that, but there should only be people who'd want to protect me. Especially since they would do anything to protect me and the present environment. They even eliminated my mother. To be perfectly honest, I don't even care about her anymore. I never got along with her, and she's the only one who took my father's death the wrong way, making a huge deal out of it like she did. She got what she deserved. I'm a valuable guinea pig for them, and I can be a bomb too. I can be a bomb? What? What is so Rita is literally a bomb? It's just to be a specific way? What? What is this reveal? There's only disaster waiting them if that happens. What does that? It could be a fakey, and they're like bomb, because she did put quotation marks or whatever those are called. What the hell? So does the gas thing just not happen in Watanashi and Mayatashi because she's killed the wrong way? It's so weird. Lots of people will be lost and nobody would gain anything from that. Oh no. According to Takano, my death would be like the eruption of a volcano in the middle of the village. I'm not interested in what happens after my death, but they're really concerned about it. What does that mean? Why is that happening? Huh? I'm so confused right now. That's weird. So the gas, like I was just thinking, the person just did the gas bomb act. That just throws away my whole thing, kind of. Because my idea was they just wanted to like connect Rita's death to the gas bomb. That's why they killed her fancy, and that's why when they couldn't kill her in a fancy way or a mysterious way, they didn't do the gas bomb. But this literally just answers the question. It's like, no, you need to kill her in a specific way for the gas bomb to happen, because she's the gas bomb. What the hell? Dude, my brain hurts. They're watching me every day to ensure I don't accidentally hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. It's fair to say that they are here in order to prevent the eruption from happening. I'd be suspicious of them if they're going to benefit in some way from my death. But as everyone knows, that can't possibly be the case. My death would create nothing but a disaster. They're benefiting from my being alive right now. It kind of sounds like when she dies, the eruption just happens anyways, so like, I don't know. That's so weird. What the hell? It has to be something supernatural, right? I can't even imagine a scenario of that being like a not supernatural thing. Are they supernatural scientists? Ah, it's so weird. What the hell? I don't understand. What about that? That is right, Rita. That adds a whole new angle. Now that we know that if you kill Rita, the gas attack happens, it could be possibly that the person just wants to kill Rita and doesn't know the gas attack will happen afterwards. So that is a thing to think about, huh? I don't know how that changes my answer. Honestly, it confuses me a bit, but I guess that's something to think about, huh? Not wanting the gas attack and just wanting to kill Rita. That's why I was suspicious of the three families, especially the Sonozaki family. However, after observing them in numerous worlds, I feel that's not the case. I felt that way in several lives, but it always had something to do with that incident with Keiichi and the doll. It's clear that there's nothing going on between the Sonozaki family and mine.
あとは盲信的な何者かなのです。
See, if you say religious fanatic, I just think of Takano, but like, if Takano is doing experiments, and like, is she actually like a religious fanatic? I feel like that might either clear that and she's just trolling, or maybe it increased that now that she knows that Riku's a bomb or whatever, and that's kind of freaky. But what does that mean? Why is she a bomb? Jesus. If it's not about profit or a grudge, it might be someone who's secretly a deranged cultist. We've already had a series of murders for 4 years in a row under the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I mean, that kind of fits with the cultist thing, huh? I don't know. Timing-wise, it would be somewhat interesting if I, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, were killed on the 5th year. I couldn't stand to be murdered for such a whimsical reason, but such a motive actually seemed fitting. Yeah, ironically, I would have to suspect Takano if that's the case. She's well known for being an eccentric researcher of local histories. She's only interested in the village's history because she already knows who I am. Huh. She's doing the research based on the notion that I'm important. So she should have no reason to kill me. She would desire to keep me close to her as a research sample. It's hard to believe that she would kill her favorite toy. It's a good point, but Takano might be deeper. Yeah, well, it's hard to say for anyone might be deeper. Well, any of the side characters might be deeper than they are, but it's just speculation, I guess. I mean, I guess they obviously are if Takano and Iri are doing experiments or whatever. She might be willing to kill someone who would try to harm her little toy, though. That's something. Tomataki! I don't know. Is it actually just Chia? Any Chia mastermind believers? Yo, it was Teppei the whole time. Who would have thought? No, I take that back. I want to escape my deadly fate. But I also want all of my friends to be happy. And I want the rest of my life to be happy too. I don't want to hide myself in the forest forever just to get away from my murderer. In fact, I've tried that once, but I still met with the same ending. Living in the forest was a horrible experience. I think I was able to survive until July that time. That might be the longest I ever lived. I smiled bitterly and finished off the rest of the orange wine in the glass. I'd have to talk to Irie again. I don't like him, but his people are my only hope. I skip? No, not really. Sleep tight. We'll solve this together. I lay down and closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep right away. Suddenly I remember Rena's words out of nowhere. It was no good when I was thinking about it on my own. I wasn't thinking about it on my own, I was talking it out with Hanyu. Now I know. It's important to talk to other people. Friends have greater meaning than I thought. You can talk to them about anything. I finally realized that. After I asked Takano for help, should I also talk to Keiichi? I've told him before in my previous lives. Ooh. But he never believed me then. Really? You would think Keiichi would believe her. Just from him really trusting of his friends. He might say it's a joke at first, but eventually he would believe you if you kept saying it, but interesting. I feel like now that everyone's experienced the friendship circle and they have some semblance of what happened, it's a good shot to trust them. But technically, one of the rules is already over, right? One of them going paranoid and killing people. That's like pretty much solved unless Keiichi makes a U-turn, but at least that's looking good. The two of us tips it fired. Who done it? Chia, Rina, Teppei. You tip. Rika Furude always thought that there were 4 members in her family. She could clearly see all of us, her father, her mother, and me. Hanyu POV? That's rare. She had no idea that I was invisible to anyone else but her. My appearance is a little different from human beings. I may otherwise look like a person, but I can't hide my horns. Just wear a hat. So it's obvious that I'm not human. I'd hoped that because Rita had seen me since she was a baby, she wouldn't be bothered by my ugly horns at all. And that hope came true. Just as chits believe whatever they see first is their parents, Rita accepted me as a part of her family as a matter of course. Even though I have these horns, Rita and I have been close ever since the day she accepted me as her family member. I became closer to her than her parents. I couldn't even remember the last time I was able to communicate with someone. We spent all day together. But her family, especially her mother, denied my existence. Since her mother so strongly denied me, Rita and her mother became distant. Rita didn't learn certain things that many children learn from their mothers. That's why I taught her instead. It's kind of ironic how that made her mother resent Rita even more. Hey, explanations to that Higurashi hint. Rita used to fight with her mother a lot about how she taught. I guess she picked up some bad habits from me, the nano-desus. Besides the fact that she didn't get along with her mother, Rita was a pretty normal girl. She was just like Satoko. She loved running around in the woods and doing mischievous things. However, in June 1983, Rita's life was taken. All we want is a happy life for Rita. My power only allows us to search for the path leading to that. It's awful to repeat the same tragedy over and over again. Although it's devastating, we can still find happiness within this endless world. Rika Furude's destiny is a tragic dead end, but I'm secretly enjoying the fact that I get to spend more time with her than what normal people can enjoy. It's not just Rika. They may not see or hear me, but being with Satoko, Mion, Rena, and Keiichi is also very fun. I can never be one of them, but I can still be by their side. That was a cute hint. Aw, that made me feel emotions. In 2020, Aiden. How dare you? Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up there. That was a good epi. And it was pretty long too, so good choice. But yeah, interesting stuff. It was definitely a thinker episode, thinking about a lot of new stuff. So maybe we got closer to our target. Maybe we went a bit off-road, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next episode. Bye. Hi, Train. You don't have to say hi to them. Goodbye. Woo.